this article? It says the 5 biggest reasons you're in debt. And number 1, of course, is college loans. But check out number 4, the holiday season. Hello again, this is Mark Huffman with Moneywatch Radio, and it turns out a lot of people will put their holiday spending on their credit card this year, and the problem is they still have last year's holiday spending on it, and maybe even the holiday season before that. There's no doubt we're heading into a very expensive time of year, and it lands a lot of people in financial trouble. You've got 2 choices. You can spend less, and that's no fun, or you can come up with extra money for the holidays. So today we're going to focus on coming up with ways to get some extra cash. I'm joined from Washington, D.C. by Cameron Huddleston, who's a contributing editor at Kiplingers, and who's written a terrific article entitled How to Save $1,000 by Black Friday. And Cameron, I can't believe we're already talking about Black Friday.
It's hard to imagine. It's not even Halloween yet, and we're talking about holiday shopping.
Okay, I'm looking over your list of things here, and it's obviously you put a lot of thought into this. Number 1 is drop your landline, your telephone line. When you think about it, a landline is, I guess, just a duplication, right?
Sure, because a lot of people are using their cell phones now, and and they even use their cell phones to make calls from home, but some of us just kind of hang on to that landline, perhaps just because it's what we're used to it. And you need to evaluate whether you really need that landline. Are you using it enough to justify the expense? And you could be saving, $30, $40 a month if you eliminate your home service and just use your cell phone. And if you don't want to, go over your cell phone minutes, then what you can do if you have internet service at home is you can use, free internet calling services such as Skype to make those long-distance phone calls or even local phone calls to other Skype users.
And I guess there are ways to save on your smartphone bill?
A lot of people, when you buy a new phone, you get locked into that 2-year service contract. If you are past that point, what you should do is investigate prepaid wireless providers. This can save you a lot of money if you switch from like one of the big 4 carriers to one of these prepaid wireless providers. Just to give you an example, there's a program called Straight Talk Wireless. It's owned by TracFone, and it uses, large wireless networks across the nation, and you pay $45 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Now, AT&T, on the other hand, will charge about $110 a month for an individual plan with the unlimited talk, text, and data. So you're going to save about $65 a month if you make that switch.
I think a lot of people hesitate to go with one of those prepaid, no-name providers because they're afraid they won't get good coverage. But you're saying it's pretty much the same.
It is because they use those networks, those national networks. Sometimes they piggyback off of the big wireless providers. And I've talked to people, who are using those services, and I can hear them loud and clear on their cell phones.
Now, I like what you wrote about raising your insurance deductible and saving on your insurance premium, because I know a lot of people don't think about that. But if you have a higher risk tolerance and are willing to self-insure a little bit, that can save some real money.
You can increase your home insurance deductible or your auto insurance deductible. In my story, I mentioned home insurance just because I saved by doing this myself. I shaved about $300 off my annual premium by boosting my deductible from $1,000 to $2,000. So that's a savings of about $25 a month. It's not a huge saving. 2 months, you're going to save $50. You can also do the same thing with your auto insurance. And you mentioned the risk tolerance. It's also a good idea to do this because, especially with homeowners insurance, you don't want to be tempted to file small claims. So if you're responsible for that first, say, $2,000 of damage, you're going to have to pay it out of the pocket. No need to file that claim if you know your deductible is that high. And if you're filing a lot of small claims, your premiums are going to jump up anyway. So kind of eliminate that temptation to file small claims by raising your deductible.
Yeah, insurance is there to cover the really big things.
Right.
Quit your vices. Well, that's advice we could all benefit from in more ways than one.
Sure, for a lot of reasons. It's really tough. I know it's tough. But if you're a smoker, you know how much you're paying for those packs of cigarettes. On average, a pack of cigarettes costs about $6. So if you're smoking a pack a week, you're going to save $54 by Black Friday. If you cut your smoking habit. If you're smoking, maybe a pack a day, you're going to save about $378. Plus there are a lot of other costs, kind of hidden costs involved, health costs. Too, if you have a nightly glass of wine or maybe a bottle of beer, you could easily save $10 a week or more if you just stop drinking for a little while.
Okay, let's switch now to ways to earn money. Your first item on the list, adjust your tax withholding. Now, this is really good advice because instead of having to earn extra money, you're tapping into money you're already earning. You just aren't giving as much of it to Uncle Sam.
Exactly. This is a really easy way to earn more money, and most people can do this. And that's because, the majority of taxpayers actually get a refund each year, and the average refund this year was about $2,600. And so what you need to do, if you get a big refund each year, go to your Human Resources Department or check with your employer and file a new W-4 form and adjust your tax withholding. At Kiplingers, we have a calculator, a tax withholding calculator that people can use to find out exactly how many exemptions they should be claiming so that Uncle Sam isn't over-withholding money from you. Get your money now rather than waiting until the spring.
Because the government doesn't pay you interest.
No.
Now, this next item I can speak to from experience because my wife is a huge fan of consignment shops. Fortunately, she sells more than she buys.
And that's a good thing. And I'm sure you get nice checks from the consignment stores. I think a lot of people could easily find things in their garage, in their attics, even in their house, or especially in their closets, clothing, furniture, that they're no longer using, they're no longer wearing, and they can sell them as long as it's in good condition. Look for upscale consignment stores with a lot of traffic so you can get more money. But, I've recently made about $300 selling furniture, more than $100 selling clothing on consignment. It's a really easy way, and you don't, have to deal with the hassle that you would with, say, a yard sale or a garage sale or even selling online. You're just taking it to someone else. You get a 50-50 split, but you don't have to do any of the hard work.
This time of year, some people take second jobs to earn extra money, but not everyone wants to take on another 8-hour shift after they've been at their day job. So you've got 3 ways to make money: take part in a clinical trial, get paid for your opinions, and joining a street team. All these things don't take a full day, I would think.
Sure. Clinical trials, for example, you could spend a couple hours or you could spend, a week or more, depending, on how much time you have to commit. But you can earn, $25 for a couple hours of your time, just by letting yourself be a human guinea pig. And there's the National Institute of Health has a database, clinicaltrials.gov, and you can go there to find legitimate trials. And you also mentioned getting paid for your opinions. There are marketing research firms that have focus groups. You can get paid more for the in-person focus groups, but, those are only in select cities. However, there are other firms that conduct, surveys online and over the phone. Harris Interactive is one. And what you do is you rack up points to get gift cards. And you can use those gift cards to buy your Christmas gifts.
Now, how would you go about finding these things? Searching online, I guess.
You do. I mean, if you want to refer people to the story I wrote for Kiplingers, I've got a couple of legitimate operations listed. Delve, DELVE, for example, is a company that conducts in-person focus groups. As I mentioned, Harris Interactive, and another website you can go to, inspiredopinions.com.
Yeah, at the beginning of our conversation, I wasn't sure there was a way we were going to get to that extra $1,000, but it looks like we're there.
It adds up pretty quickly, and people should realize that they can make, some small changes, perhaps some bigger changes, but they can save that money or earn that money rather than pulling out their credit cards. And really, it's also a good idea to start saving rather than to start buying now, because the deals aren't so good now on most of the items that people really want for Christmas. The best deals, come much closer to the holidays, Black Friday and beyond.
That's a good point. Well, you guys at Kiplingers always have great ideas for stretching a dollar. Cameron, thanks very much.
Bye.
Cameron Huddleston, contributing editor at Kiplingers. Check out her article, How to Save $1,000 by Black Friday, at kiplinger.com. And we'll leave you with this. A 2011 study by the American Research Group found Americans plan to spend on average $646 for gifts during the holiday season. So coming up with an extra $1,000 not only pays for the holidays, but puts you ahead of the game. This is Mark Huffman, back with more about you and your money on the next Moneywatch Radio.